Hey girls, Maria Menounos here, author of the Every Girl's Guide to Life. Want to know my best tips and secrets for organization, travel, weight loss, beauty, fashion, and everything else in between? Go to bing.com/Maria and pick up my new book, The Every Girl's Guide to Life.
You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, and streaming live on Ustream, this is AFTERBUZZ TV for Tough Enough. Tonight's hosts are Torrie Wilson, Lilian Garcia, and Candice Michelle, a.k.a. TLC. Also joining us will be special guest, former WWE and TNA champion, Mick Foley. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest Tough Enough news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, picking up where the show leaves off, and the buzz continues, TLC!
TLC is in the house and we're excited.
Yes, we're so excited.
Woo! But we're missing a little bit of tea.
I know. She tried. Poor Torrie.
She was trying to make it.
She was in Dallas over the weekend and she was trying so badly to get back in time, but unfortunately her flight, her plane just didn't fly fast enough.
They didn't. It was putting.
Putt.
So we're going to miss Torrie tonight, but we got a big show tonight. We're going to talk about a lot of things coming up. We're going to start off with what we did this weekend.
Well, first of all, this week, I mean, it's like, for me, it's been just...
I don't even remember what I did all week.
Wait.
Before we get into that.
I'm looking at you and I'm thinking, it was the royal wedding. It was the Derby this week, and Lady Gaga did perform on Oprah. So you've got it all like handled right there in your little.
Well, I went to Santa Barbara.
Hat
I was at this cool thrift shop, and they made these funky little hats. I was like, I gotta do it. I'm feeling a little spicy, a little sexy. People say hair in one eye is sexy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to just talk like this for the whole show.
No, I don't think so. You'll get very annoying.
I'm sorry, Lilian.
Oh, God.
What were you saying, darling?
Oh, God.
You just get me all buttered.
Oh, yeah. Seriously, though, when I saw that, as soon as I saw that, she told me she was going to wear that on the show, I went, wait a minute, the headphones. How is that going to fit? But leave it up to Candice.
We make it work.
She makes it work.
I
love it.
So this is exciting. A little tribute, speaking of the Derby.
Yeah, so
you did a red carpet.
I did green carpet. I don't know what it is about the green carpet. They call it a red carpet affair, but it actually turns into a green carpet because they have green carpet there. I don't get it.
Nice. You got to change it. Hollywood's always about change and fancy.
So it was really cool, actually.
Did you tweet those photos?
Yes. I had a big hat. And then I got to wear another hat during the day. I just kind of like swapped around.
Oh, look
so
at our little doggy.
Fun.
Roof, he's so cute.
What are you doing? So we have our...
See, I got a little rowdy.
Yeah, it's got to be perfect. All right.
Thanks, Kevin.
He's our Charlie. Thanks, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie. The best producer ever.
Yes. So, the Derby was all great. I mean, it was a lot of fun. And because you and Torrie were not around, I got to actually invite Melina.
Nice.
And so she came, and also Kat came. So it was cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see those photos.
Yeah, I tweeted photos with them. I sure did.
Well,
you were
Mommy,
too busy.
Yes, Mommy had a weekend away without the little baby. It was our 12-year anniversary.
Congratulations. You guys have been together for 12 years, or married, or?
Married for 6, together for 12. So actually in June it's 12. So people were actually asking on Twitter, they're like, you just got married.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
And we met in June, and so we just combined it all into one. I'm not into this anniversary that, I get confused.
But you see our wrestling fans, they're very meticulous.
They know more about my
wait a
dates
minute.
than I do. They're like, hold on.
You got married
I was
on
like,
this
dang,
time, and it was at 3:01 in the afternoon. I
Can
swear.
I just get a congratulations? Nice.
Hey, speaking
But
of
speaking
Twitter.
of, yeah, Twitter, we're going to take some tweets
Yes.
today, guys. So you can tweet us. You know, I'm at Diva Candice M, and we got at Lilian Garcia, 1L.
1L.
1L. Don't misspell that. And send us a question, because when we take our callers later in the show.
Yeah, not now. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
After our special guest, Mick Foley, then we're going to take a tweet question. We're actually going to answer these live. So this will be really fun. It's our first time we're going to do that segment this time.
And I want to thank the Twitters. I mean, the fans out there actually for tweeting me. Oh my gosh, when I sang last Monday.
Yeah.
I mean, that was such a great surprise that I got
Incredible,
to do
right?
it. Yeah, that was great. I can't believe it's already a week later. I really can't. But I got thousands of tweets. I'm not talking just hundreds. I got like thousands.
Well, you were, what do they call that?
Trending. I
Yeah,
was top
trending.
trending
Yes.
in the world.
Amazing.
It was amazing. So, but it was them that they were so nice and so like,
Yeah.
wow, it's just so great to see you in the ring. And believe me, it
Just
was like the
missing
last
ya.
thing I expected. Like Sunday, it's like Sunday I get the call, and the next thing you know, I'm on a plane at 6 a.m. I'm like packing, and till like 1 o'clock in the morning. And you saved me, thank
Yay.
God. For everybody who saw me with a dress, it was her who lent me the dress. I call her Sunday night. I'm like panicking at 10 p.m. I'm like, I'm looking through my closet. I like have nothing anymore. Like,
I gotcha.
yeah, I'm like
Picture.
calling her. I'm like, please. She's texting me. Yeah, and on my phone. Do you like this one? Do you like that one? I'm like, I want them all. So my husband was so sweet. Went and
He
got the
did.
dresses while I'm sitting there packing, and I'm trying on. Thank God I fit into them, and you
course.
saved me. That dress was absolutely gorgeous. Everyone was
Lilian
talking about
was
it.
so frazzled, guys, that she
Yeah.
does not even have her cue cards here
Right.
today.
I don't. I was so frazzled today. I'm sorry. She
So it's
mentioned
going to get a little bit wild, just like when me and
You know
Torrie
what,
do
though?
it solo.
by now, I would hope that people would know people's faces and their names.
Right.
Because we've got it down.
We got
so we're hoping that you guys have
And
it
we
down.
got it written
Yeah.
down.
So, hey, by the way, before we forget.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Our
so proud of Maria.
girl.
That was the other thing. We got to hang out with Maria this
She
week.
was just on the Nate Burkus show today. That
You know,
was
and
like
I-
the coolest show.
Yeah, and I
ever.
actually saw her yesterday. She was interviewing Johnny Depp and
Yes.
Penelope Cruz.
Very
so that
cool.
was really
Yeah, 'cause
cool.
they have the new Pirates movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And I think I'm going to go to Disneyland on Wednesday.
You are.
Yeah, because you know what? I went to Disneyland, I guess, about a few weeks ago or a month
A
and
few
a half.
weeks ago, and you're
A
going
month.
again.
Well, that's what happened. They give you a pass that day. They give you a pass that you can come back before the 14th of May. Well, the 14th is at the end of this week, so I'm like, oh, better slide in there. So we're gonna go, and apparently Pirates of the Caribbean have like this big new
A new
thing
thing
there
for
or
it,
something
yeah.
there. So I'm excited about
that's
it.
very cool.
But her book, number 3 on the bestseller.
Awesome.
And she's just awesome. Like she's really cool.
we actually got to hang out with
Yeah,
her. We went
yeah.
to a little gathering she had
At her
and
house. That's
The best part was just really getting
beautiful.
to know her. Like,
Yeah.
she's
so
just
genuine.
yeah.
So genuine.
We love that about
So I want
girls.
to tell you guys too that this is, I mean, it's a great book for girls, but it's not just for girls. Like it's for guys too. It's got all the stuff about the workout. Like you can get pointers in there. Anything can be
Look at
made.
you. You got a
See,
bookmark.
organized.
I was like, I'm so surprised. I didn't even know that it was bookmarked.
And then for the girls, like hints on makeup.
Yes, that's
like
my
all this-
favorite.
yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of great stuff in here. But the
she
reason
was
I
talking
say
about her cooking even.
yeah, the cooking. But the reason I say it's good for guys too because it talks about relationships also.
Because what's
And
good
to
for the goose is
me-
good for the gander.
Right, and to me, I'm
Is that how
thinking
that saying goes?
the more the more you know about a girl,
Yes.
the better your chances are. I'm telling you, the better your chances are at getting a girl. So if you're single, pick this book up, learn a few things, and then you can communicate with us women.
So can I just tell you about my favorite part of this weekend?
Yes, of course.
It's Mommy's Day.
Oh, yes, of course. It was the first time, your
That is
first
the best
Mother's Day
ever created in the whole universe.
that's
my
so
gosh.
happy for
it
you.
just made me. You saw her today. She's walking.
She's walking. I can't believe it. She's absolutely
11
walking.
months
Yeah.
and walking, and she's just this little peanut, and she just. Oh, I just want a yummy.
No, she's so
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 thank you
beautiful.
guys, everybody, tweeterers, my candy addicts on Facebook.
That and
you guys,
Facebook, too, yeah.
You guys sent me so much loving messages. That is so dear. When I just scroll down, it says, Happy Mommy's Day, you're the best mommy. And one person even said, when I mentioned on this show how it hurts so much because I love her so much.
Right.
They're like, that's why you're the best mommy. I was like, oh, so it's really cool that they're taking what I say on the show and just relating it to, my experiences. And so I appreciate all that love, and it makes me just...
Just watching you with her, because I don't have my own. Watching you with her, though. And I appreciate you allowing me to be her aunt.
Oh, you're so good at it.
Because
We get yummy, yummy.
Yeah, I know, she's just precious.
Yummy
So,
is a good word.
It is.
Just say it's yummy.
Yummy.
Does it make you feel yummy?
Makes me hungry.
Somebody once told me if you're ever sad, just say
Yummy.
sparkles. So just try it.
Sparkles!
See, it just makes
me feel weird. No, I'm just kidding.
But it makes you happy. Okay, anyway, so we have a really good show today. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Let's recap this a little bit. We have John Morrison that comes on the show, which is awesome.
Oh, and by the way, I got to hang out with him this week.
Did he go to the green carpet?
He went. All right, Thursday I got to hang out with him and Melina at it was Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, nice.
So they came out to
Baja. I saw that photo. She always has a good Cinco de Mayo.
Awesome.
She's
awesome.
Mexican, right?
Yeah, she's
so she
Mexican.
always has a good outfit to show.
So we had fun. John came later because he was doing some other stuff, but he came later and had a great time, and then had dinner with him and Melina, so it was cool. And then actually Melina, and I went to the Derby, and then he joined us later on when we were watching the fight between Mosley and Pac-Man.
Oh, how did that go?
Congratulations to Pac-Man, because actually he was...
What are you calling him?
Well, that's his nickname, Pac-Man.
Okay.
It's Pacquiao or something like that. So he's from God, now I forget. He's Asian.
Is he Filipino or
Filipino,
something?
I think that's what it is.
It is.
So he it was a good fight. Some people were disappointed because they didn't feel like A, they wanted a knockout, and B, it went 12 rounds.
How did it end? Because
it went 12 rounds, so it was by decision.
Right.
But it was clear cut.
It was
Pac-Man
okay.
definitely. It was clear cut, and but some people were disappointed because they wanted a little bit more action. But Mosley just stayed in there. He really stayed in there, which was surprising to us because I really thought it was going to be a knockout.
Right.
But yeah, so John joined us for that. So
awesome.
He actually went in for his surgery.
Yes, I heard he's out and doing good. Did
he's
you hear
doing well.
Else?
Yes, he's doing well. He's John, I mean, this is him. He wanted to do the surgery this morning, fly home today. Okay, later on.
So he's not in L.A.
No, the surgery.
Oh, he went to the guru guy.
Yeah, the guru guy, right.
Okay.
We won't even say where.
Speaking of, guys, for you who don't know, there's a guru guy.
Well, there's a surgeon that does all
the surgeries for the WWE
You
superstars.
saying guru, people are going to think he's like a witch doctor.
And he's in Kentucky or something, some random place, and everybody goes there to get their surgeries.
Right. So he...
Dr. Andrew, is that it?
I think that's who he's doing. Who's doing his surgery.
So you need a surgery.
Yeah.
Dr. Andrew, you need to hook us up. We're promoting you on the show.
So he flew there, and then he wanted to fly back today.
Yeah.
The same day. And I looked at him, and I'm like, are you crazy? Really? So he's flying back tomorrow. I'm still, I would be like,
yeah,
wow.
that's the serious wrestler's mentality, though.
I know.
I mean, we even got to see that today with Ivelisse.
Yes.
Evie.
Evie,
sorry,
they call
I got
it
it.
Evie.
Evie. I mean, that girl was putting her heart out there. She's hurt, and you could really tell. At first, I didn't know because I couldn't remember what happened to her leg. I think we were so discombobulated last week, with you gone and doing the show, and that just kind of took priority with what happened in the world. But her leg is really hurting her. I mean, she couldn't even stand in that ring barely at the end, and she wanted it still. She wasn't like, hey, here, take it away from me. And that's just the mentality that you need to be in this business. And as sad and as scary as that mentality is sometimes, because I've lived that and been through that, that it's just really what that world is about. And you have to be ready and prepared for that.
I saw you getting, and I don't want to, I mean, I'm sure you guys probably saw the ending, so I don't want to talk about the ending right just yet, but I did see you tear up.
Yeah, well, it hits home a little bit.
I was just going to say, because it hit home with when you had your injury.
It really did, and I actually said, I can't believe this show's actually going to make me cry. But I did cry, but I did tear up, and, it's just about when you go out there and you get injured out there and you have that mentality, you really know that you love this business, you love the fans, you love the work you put into it, and you never give up, and I remember feeling like Evie,
yeah.
Sorry. Feeling like her when I broke my collarbone in the ring the second time. And it was at the very beginning of that match. And to finish that match is such a proud moment for me. It's no, when you're out there live in front of, 20,000 people and the millions watching on TV, you don't just say, hey, I broke my collarbone, stop the match.
Right.
There's something extra inside of superstars and divas that just makes you keep going, and you finish it, and until you get backstage, then you're like, holy crap, what did I just do?
Right.
And it takes you out of the game, and it takes you out unwillingly. It's like, somebody just pulls that carpet out from underneath you, and you don't have a saying.
I think that's what was kind of probably bothering you, even when you had to leave the WWE, is the fact that you didn't get to choose to leave the WWE. The injury did.
Right. And in the long run, we do a lot of psi work from these psi seminars, and what I learned is, to take responsibility for it. And I think that Evie might find some restitution with that. She learns to take, and not blaming it on Christina for injuring her,
right?
But instead of what she could have done and how she's responsible for it, because really in the long run, I was responsible for all my injuries. I had a broken collarbone going into the match, and somehow I finagled my way into being into a match. Like, no, I'm fine. The doctor didn't release me, didn't say that I could go out there and wrestle. But it was my own fault for not taking responsibility, and hence, that was what happened. And you just have to learn to, learn from those experiences.
Well, that's the thing. It's going to be interesting to see how she comes
back,
out, how she comes back and out of this, because that's where you can really tell a superstar from
totally
not. It's, do you let this stop you?
Right.
Or do you learn from this and then go, okay, now this time I'm really, I'm going to take better care of myself doing this or that, but it really is. It's like I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down. That's what.
And when
she
you
has to
saw
see.
Stone Cold looking at her, I mean, I almost thought I was going to get a tear from him tonight.
Yeah.
He was like, you deserve to be in this ring. You have that passion. You have that it factor, and you're really giving it your all. And I think if she just gives herself some time to heal, WWE's going to love her, and she's gonna be in there and making history for the
I
WWE.
think we're definitely gonna see her.
I do too.
Oh, by the way, speaking of her, we saw a little something on her today.
Oh my gosh, what is with the fire crotch? Now we're talking that she's Latina, and I remember in the early shows,
she brought the Latina heat for sure.
Yes,
she has a tattoo in the front.
It. If you guys, when we get to it, maybe we'll try to pause it on there. But she's got this tattoo, incognito. It's just creeping out of the panties, saying, I'm a little wild.
Flames.
But I think that's exciting. It's like, what does the rest of that tattoo look like?
She is definitely bringing on the heat. Definitely.
Yes.
So.
Awesome. So we talked about John Morrison, but they had a bunch of skills challenges, and we want to go through all the contestants here tonight. We're going to talk about the bottom 3, but we also have our special guest tonight.
Yes, our special guest tonight.
And we appreciate everybody. We pushed him back a week.
Yeah.
Lilian wanted to be here. She's really good friends with him. And, I mean, he's just so amazing to be so willing to, work with the schedule and the craziness that's happened. And we're going to have Mick Foley on tonight. And
none other than
really
the
awesome.
hardcore legend.
Yes, the one and only. So where do we want to take this from here?
All right. So I think that we should definitely talk about, the points that we're going to be discussing this evening is our elimination. I love it. I think you should talk to me in that. I don't think that works.
So this is really awesome,
so
guys.
funny.
We
Yeah,
have our producer here tonight. This is really exciting. And you saw him come in and fix our little AfterBuzz thing. But he asked us, he said, should I talk to you guys in your headset, or should I put a little thing up on the side?
Yeah, I think you should talk to us.
And we're like, talk to us. And then we're like, no, write it. And then so we just totally stopped in our tracks to read that.
All right, this is better. He said something about my mic being right in the way. So I think.
Like better. Do you want me to talk this way?
Yeah,
or do you want
sure.
me to-
Yes, we like that.
It's
Yeah.
our Charlie. Be our Charlie. Come on.
Well,
It-
Lilian, you're so beautiful.
Aw.
And I hate seeing that microphone block that beautiful face.
What's wrong with this? What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
No, then we'll make it an audio
Thanks.
show if that's.
No, I get you. All right, so is this better?
That's better. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
And plus,
Or
you
should-
can
You can sit up
actually hear
straight, or
them.
you can adjust your chair so it comes up higher. Either way.
Yeah, that is something. I feel like a little. There we go.
Look at you
that.
now.
Look at me now.
I don't feel so spicy now.
This
All right,
is
get
all the
back to
technical
wrestling
stuff.
Talk. You don't want to listen to me.
All right, there we go.
Awesome. Okay, so we got that together. So where were we going from here? Were we
All
going
right.
to talk about the challenges and all the contestants, or are we going to get close to going into our special guest?
Well, first of all, we were just going to discuss the fact that we've got the elimination to talk about for sure. We've got the ropes course. Let's talk about the ropes course.
Let's just go to that
real
because
quick.
this Eric guy is hilarious.
What was it? An hour and 35 minutes he was hanging there on the ropes.
I mean,
Hour and 35.
It's got to be harder to hang there than to just
try.
crawl your butt through it.
Right. And just go.
And on top of it, to actually cry at the end. Come on, dude.
Well, he was crying because he was embarrassed.
Well, I would
That's
be
why.
embarrassed too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to be that embarrassed laying there, at least, you're strapped on somehow. At least fall, trying to go through it.
That was the thing. He just sat there. And And here's the thing. I'm thinking, everybody just watching him this long. If I had an audience watching me, like we were saying with WWE,
So your adrenaline.
Your adrenaline should just show me that you're struggling to get to that.
That's why I was really happy he was in the bottom 3 because week after week he puts on this thing I really want it. He says that, and even when he says it, you don't believe it. Even his tears tonight, I'm a sucker for the tears. You can bring me to tears pretty easy, and tonight I was just like, dude, you're crying because you want to just be done.
Yeah, I think
it's
he gave up too easy.
Yeah.
So that's Eric on him. AJ, I'm telling you one thing. I have not noticed that kid.
I didn't even know who he was today.
I have not noticed
guy?
him at all. He does not have any.
No.
To me, unfortunately, he just hasn't shown it. He does not have the superstar fire.
The only thing he had is when he was in the bottom 3, when he said, "Give me your title," he said, "No, you have to take it from me."
Yeah, that was the only one.
But I mean, it was so still nonchalant. Do you have any fire? No, you have to take it from me.
Right. Yeah. No, you have to take it from me.
And that was more than what Eric did. Eric was just like,
okay.
Okay.
Which we're kind of talking about the end, but that's okay.
It kind of ties in.
Yeah, it definitely.
But how about our Jeremiah? Well, it's not your. It's me and Torrie's Jeremiah.
Yeah, you guys.
We're loving him still. Torrie would be proud.
No, but he didn't step up in the skills challenge.
I know, but he's spitting blood. Okay, he has no teeth, and he's still spitting blood. The poor guy is
love it.
His little lip starts to dimple in right here when he has his teeth out, and he still has character. He's getting it,
Right, but I just feel like there's something about him, like they were saying in the skills challenge. He's doing things that are dangerous.
Well, it's when you become dangerous and a threat to other people, because he's getting in the ring with somebody else.
He was dangerous even to that. The mat thing. Come on. Even that was like, oh, dude, ouch.
Imagine the poor guy that's laying there.
Right?
And that's true because, that's why people say, hey, why don't you work indies or why don't you do some of this other work out there? And I'm like, that's why. Because when you get somebody that doesn't know what they're doing in the ring, I mean, once you're injured, you know what it's like to be injured and off the market. You're like, it's not worth it to go.
And these guys have been,
anybody.
They are people that have said that they've been working and independence, and we still see them messing up and not knowing good technical skills that keep people safe.
But he's still learning.
So my favorite still is Andy.
I
know he's still a little bit hasn't shown all of his, but he showed some fire today.
He showed a little bit.
I love the fact that when he couldn't stand up there with the balance, and it's a big guy. He's a big guy,
he's
okay?
A big guy.
So it takes a lot more to stand up there. But when he couldn't stand up there, he was just ticked off, and I loved it.
Yeah, but you know what? Even the last week or even 2 weeks, it's like he gets ticked off afterwards. His fire comes after he fails. If he can just use that in the challenge.
In the challenge, yeah.
I
think he's building,
trying to balance,
But he's never been in the bottom 3.
No,
never.
He hasn't.
And speaking of last week in the bottom 3, Luke did step up, even though he's arrogant as hell.
He did.
He is arrogant.
I don't know how Jeremiah and Luke get along. I mean, it's just quite a weird friendship.
Yeah, because Jeremiah is more humble.
Opposite.
Yeah,
he's like
the humble,
relaxed, country boy, and then you get the cocky city slicker.
But I think for him, Jeremiah, actually, it's good that Luke is in there.
Yeah.
Because it fires him up.
Well, and he's been learning from him. He's been taking full advantage of it. Luke isn't learning he's got a certain kind of charisma that can sell, as being a heel in the WWE.
I was just going to say, he's going to be a perfect heel.
Yeah, I mean.
Because I can't stand him already.
And yeah, totally. We hate him.
So it's like you want to boo him already, but he's good.
Exactly.
That's the thing. You hate him for being good. Because he just needs a little bit more humbleness. That's all. I mean, you have to have something to work. One thing is being out and showmanship and being a heel, but another thing is also being backstage. And
Right.
I'm a little worried for him backstage.
Well, and that's the part,
working with everyone else.
He's not going to get along with everybody else, and there's a certain level where not getting along makes you a great heel, but then going to that just over the top of that cockiness is you got your own locker room in the toilets.
In the toilet, exactly.
with poop thrown in your suitcase, mushed around your shorts, and now try to rinse them out and wear them wet to the ring.
That's about right, because it's tough, guys. It is tough. If you're not liked, oh boy.
Ouch.
All right, so you know what? I think it's time. Why don't we go to commercial break?
We're going to go to commercial break, and if
then-
our wonderful Charlie back there can get our special guest, Mick Foley, on the line for us. Can you do that for us, Charlie? He's nodding yes.
Want to find out what the AfterBuzz is about?
Janice is a drama queen.
This is the divide that is going to carry the series.
Give us a call. 424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
It's television, and they want it to be as dramatic as possible.
I mean, it's Shakespearean.
You never know what goes on behind closed doors.
Find out why AfterBuzz TV is the #1 source for after-show content.
Now, in the eyes of Jimmy, Nucky is a villain.
424-256-1729. 424-256-1729.
I mean, who would you guys rather hear that from? Your husband or your best friend?
The wig will come out.
When the TV show is over, get your AfterBuzz on.
Zoom.
All right, I think I'm going to need an hour to introduce Mick Foley.
This is a real superstar.
I am not kidding you. I mean, okay, here we go. I mean, we know him as a wrestler.
Do we have him on the line so he can hear this introduction? Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay.
we
All
got
right.
it.
So not only is he a wrestler, we know that. And I'll get into, like, what kind of wrestler. Like, this is amazing, like, all the titles. He's also an author, okay? He's also a comedian. He's an actor. He's a voice actor. He's a former color commentator, because he did color commentating for SmackDown. I remember that. And okay, he's goes under the name of Dude Love, Cactus Jack, Mankind, and of course Mick Foley. But here's the thing: he was the first ever WWF Hardcore Champion. He was a 3-time WWF champion as Mankind. He won the WWF World Tag Team Champions not once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but 8 times. 8 times, my lucky number. ECW World Tag Team Champion twice.
Oh my gosh.
And WCW World Tag Team title once. And hang on, let me take my breath. Also, TNA World Heavyweight Champion and TNA Legends Championship. Oh my gosh. On the line is my friend more than anything, Mick Foley.
Hi, Mick.
Hello. And yeah, that's the most important thing. You save that one for last, right?
Oh, Mick, I love you. You know I love you.
Mick, you know, my favorite thing last week, Lilian was like, because, I didn't have your phone number personally. I don't know why I didn't have it, but she said, just call him. He's just a little teddy bear. And when she said that, I was like, I miss that little teddy bear. We love you, Mick. How are you doing?
Wow, I'm doing great. I just hope there's no heat between the two of you, because I happen to have written a chapter all about Candice and no Lilian chapter yet.
I know. What the heck?
I've been
Mick?
bragging about it
No, seriously.
all day.
I have known you longer than Candice Michelle. I have done an interview. Oh, talking about interviews, Mick, I remember this one interview. I don't know if you'll remember it or not. It's kind
let
of
me
funny.
guess. There's 2 words in it, and one of them is wanna.
He does.
You have to tell me
All
about
right.
this one.
So we were doing this interview backstage, and we, you remember when he was commissioner? He was commissioner of Raw for a while. It was so funny. I mean, that was your comedian moments right there. 'Cause seriously, as
And
commissioner.
Lilian, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it was something that we talked about ahead of time. I think it was just we were in front of a hockey net, right?
Yeah, we were.
All right, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we never
Tell
talked
the
about
story.
this, and it was live. And little old me, I get embarrassed kind of easily. Okay,
No,
yeah,
not-
seriously,
And
especially
you were pretty new at this point, right?
Right,
You
I
were
was
about a
new.
year, maybe.
Yeah, I was kind of new. I was only there maybe 2 years or something like that. And I was and when I first got there, I was just like this, like little old like virgin to everything and just good and proper. Right. And then I get into the wrestling world. No, but I'll never forget the setup, because as commissioner, he always had a different set everywhere. And the setup was a hockey goalie, like net. All right, and that he used that.
Yeah, I had my desk like
like
in the net. I believe.
In the net, exactly. In the desk. He literally has a hockey puck, and the first thing that comes out of him in the beginning of the interview, "Hey, Lilian, want a puck?" And at first I'm like,
hopefully I was able to get away with.
Oh yeah, you did.
Like
Because at first, I'm like, sure, and then I'm like, oh my god, now I get it. It was hilarious. Only you can get away with that, Mick.
Because it didn't sound offensive, right?
No,
but
not
here's
at all.
the secret, Lilian. I was trying to be offensive, and I just couldn't pull it off.
Because you're Mick
That's what
Foley.
makes you even cuter.
I know.
I think one of the first times I met Mick Foley is we were backstage at Raw, and he had just finished a match. I don't know if you remember this, Mick, but you did like some thumbtack. Something crazy. I mean, I thought I had seen a lot on the show, and then you can't come back, and you come back after your match, and you have thumbtacks and scrapes all over you, and I just wanted to just engulf you in my arms and love you, because you just look so torn up, and you just like were like, yeah, that was a great match. I was like, my God, that guy's got some heart. Tell us about what it feels like to have thumbtacks stuck in you.
I think that was after the Ric Flair match at SummerSlam. And I think, you looked at me like, oh my God, you said something, and like I said something like something stupid that would be offensive coming from one of the other guys. I said like, "Oh, do you find this attractive?"
Yeah,
and you just went,
I think you did
"Oh
actually."
God, no!" No, but you did. You really felt for me because I think, not to disagree with you, but I think we had known each other a little while. But my matches were so rare. I only had like 1 or 2 a year that you weren't used to seeing me. In any kind of match, let alone, coming back with, I think I needed 25 stitches in my chest after that. That probably not the best idea to have to be chopped while somebody's got barbed wire on their.
Yes. Oh my God.
So yeah, that was a rough one. I do remember that, and I do remember I may have even done an Austin Powers, like some stupid Austin Powers line, and I never forget. Like you didn't even play along. You were like, "Oh God, no."
I was seriously worried for you. I was thinking, how is the doctor going to get all those thumbtacks out and stitch up every little hole? What does that feel like? I mean,
and what possesses you to do that, Mick? Really?
Honestly, I never felt like I was really reckless in the ring. I mean, there may have been a few things I did. I mean, a few things every year that were really risky. But I always, like, when I would think about things, I would think about what you can get as far as, like, the risk, the reward as opposed to the risk. And thumbtacks were actually way up there on the risk-reward ratio because there wasn't a lot of risk. It hurt, but not any more than like a real bad bump outside the ring might hurt. And the reaction was just, sustained and phenomenal. And it was what I thought was worth the pain. The eerie part was having them pulled out one by one, which is worse than having
all
them
at once.
Go in all simultaneously. But there were some things I did over my career where I was like, I'll never do that again because it wasn't worth the reaction.
Can you share with us what those are? Like, what have you done that you're like, no?
Well, you know what? I mentioned in one of my books that even today, like I'll watch, not necessarily today as in this day, but even in the current era, I'll see some stuff that guys do. And I'll be like, I don't think anyone even remembers that I was the first guy to do that. It might be something kind of clever as opposed to really painful. But because I was kind of a limited athlete, the stuff that looked good and other people could do probably better than I could would get used up. And I was kind of like, I had to settle for like the really painful stuff. So if you never saw me, like, if you never seen anybody have the steps thrown on them from the ring to the outside, which was the Rock did to me in February of '99, just, you know, over his head and through, you know, drop them on my leg. Like, that was a great idea. You know, there's a reason why some of those things don't get done ever again. And that would probably be the example off the top of my head. But some of the things that just really hurt and it then did not resonate with the fans would be scratched off the list as things to never do again. Whereas thumbtacks, until they became overused here, and they really did, you know, they were a great reaction because you could pull that bag out and, you know, and it'd be that kind of anticipation of what's in the bag, and then you scatter them. There'd be, you know, thousands of them. They kind of like shine in the light, and people just, you know, it was a build to a great response. And like I said, they've kind of been overused now, but and I'm probably guilty or guiltier than anybody, but that was kind of a cool thing, you know, for a while.
Mick, is there anything, you know, you've done the thumbtacks and the barbed wire and steps being thrown on you. Is there anything that comes to your mind where you're like, I still have to accomplish this in the wrestling world? Because you're still with TNA, still going strong. I mean, is there something you're like, I'm going to pull out this as the next stop?
You know what? I mean, my last book was about the build-up to my biggest match in several years, because I'd been a part of return matches where it was a big part of pay-per-views, but I'd never been asked to, like, carry the load and be the main event. It'd been several years since I'd done that, so that was kind of a intimidating thing, and I got through it, and I think it went pretty well. But honestly, part of my problem in wrestling is that I not only did everything that I wanted to, I really exceeded it. So sometimes when I go back, it feels like it's not as challenging, and there are other things I'd like to do, and I do get a chance to do that. Sometimes, I have to, I have to tweet so much about wrestling just so I can get other points across, and I think for the most part people appreciate that I've got other interests, whether it be writing or like we're doing this auction. We've raised a lot of money for victims of sexual violence.
This
so
is your RAIN
try
campaign.
To be positive and try to accomplish some things, given the recognition I have.
I think it's been great that you have been very, very diverse, and I was going to bring that up about the RAIN campaign because it's just been unbelievable. I mean, you had mentioned that you were looking to raise like $10,000, and you've raised well over $100,000.
That's incredible.
Yeah, nobody saw that happening, and I was a little down. After like 2 weeks, we didn't have that many people donating. It seemed kind of odd to have a wrestler talking about a subject that didn't necessarily seem to translate as well. I think we were all fortunate to be around kids from Make-A-Wish and different groups.
Right.
I mean, almost every day backstage we'd be privileged to, help out a kid who'd been going through a tough time. But, the thing, sexual abuse didn't seem to be natural. But I think that's why it's actually worked so well. And I've had so many survivors of rape and sexual assault who have felt comfortable telling me their stories since we started this campaign. So above and beyond the 100,000, and we're up to over 10,000 on the online auction, which is also a pretty cool thing. So I was calculating.
Are we at your last day yet for that auction?
We have 1 day and like 11 hours.
There we go.
On some of the things, and then we have like 1 day and 20 hours on some other items.
Where do people go for that?
They can go to, if they just Google Mick Foley, if they go to eBay Mick Foley charity, it should come up.
Okay.
Because 100% goes to RAIN. I mean, the address is myworld.ebay.com/pickles01, but I don't think anybody's going to remember that. And before we talk about something else, I want you girls both to know that in a few months, I'm going to do a much bigger auction. This was something I threw together. I put literally like 6 of my favorite wrestling items up there just so people could know that this was something really important to me. These are like the Cactus Jack boots and the Hell Cell shirt. You know, there's some other stuff that, like, you know, songs I wrote when I was 16 that, you know.
Wait. You wrote songs? Wait a minute, that interests me.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you didn't run this by me. Maybe I want to sing your songs.
I seriously doubt that. Seriously doubt that. I was telling my kids, you know, I had the sheets out. I was rapping for them, and it was not one of my greatest moments as a father. Although they appreciated seeing what a loser I was. It made me
that's funny. More comfortable. But what are you going to be doing in a month?
In a few months, I'm gonna ask people I know in wrestling, and I might even badger people I've met over the years who are wrestling fans and other forms of entertainment to put together like a big auction, you know, with lots of items. Because just out of the blue, Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins, well, not out of the blue, because he tweets me every now and then. He was like, "Hey, you're putting the Cactus Jack boots up. They'd look good next to my Grammys."
Nice. That's awesome.
And I just said, "Hey, you feel like donating something?" I was thinking, you know, maybe a couple tickets to a show, and he ended up he tweeted me back. He said, "How about a brand new Fender Stratocaster?" So there's an example of something that's up to over $2,000.
Wow.
And, so I think if, you know, how many times did we meet, you know, stars in movies or other sports? I mean, that was a pretty common occurrence, and I think they would like to give, and I'd love to get, you know, some diva outfits and anything you could think of that, you know, if each person has one item
happy.
up there. I think the world of wrestling could, you know, can and has done a lot of good, and I've really been proud of the fact that we've raised a lot of money, because I think it makes us look good to the outside world, which is always important to me.
Yeah. You can count on me. I definitely will give you an outfit.
Yeah,
all right.
We're all in on that.
We're in.
now, Candice, can I tell you a little bit of a story? Just a little story concerning you.
Absolutely. I'm a little nervous and I'm blushing already, and you haven't even started the story.
She gets this with everyone. As soon as they say story, she's like, "Oh."
You helped me make a point. I had this picture on my Twitter background. It had been the book for several months. It was like months after the last copy had been sold. I still had this, you know, the cover of the book. And I'm not very proficient technologically, so I don't know how to take things off and put new things up. Mm-hmm. And there's this singer that I tweet about once in a while named Grace Potter, who I'd met, and I had this cool picture, and I wanted to put it up there. But now people look at it and they're like, "Why does Mick have like a photo with two women who are not his wife?" bass players up there too. They're like, who are these people, and why do you have photos of them on your homepage? So I just mentioned I was going to put a nice picture of my wife in a bikini up there, and by the time my wife told me there was no way I would put a photo up, we had like 100 comments like, "Hey, I want to see the picture." So
I saw those comments on your Twitter.
Yeah. So I was like, man, there might actually be an interest. So without telling her, I listed a bikini photo on the auction that was censored, like too hot to show. And when she got mad at me, she was like, I don't see you putting up pictures of other girls in bikinis. I was like, actually, there's a picture of Candice Michelle.
You did! I love it!
In my last book, with the caption of, like, "Here's Candice in all her glory. I'm sure my wife will love this photo."
I
love that.
That's awesome.
I was telling everybody on the show here last week when we were telling that you were going to be on, that I actually got a very special kiss from you. Do you remember that story, Mick?
Wait, the special? Oh yeah, that's what the chapter in the book is about, right? Like would you like to tell that story?
I would love to tell the story. So we were going to Afghanistan.
We were stopped halfway. In Landstuhl, Germany, right?
Yep, and Mick had a sandwich, and, you know, we had nothing to eat, and it was like a peanut butter with banana on, you know, nice white Wonder Bread, and it was just so perfectly cut at an angle. And
making me hungry.
He's just sitting there like a little teddy bear enjoying his sandwich, and I'm like drooling, watching him eat his sandwich, like so lovingly eating it. And he saw me looking at him, and he said, "Would you like a bite?" And I was like, do I take a bite of his sandwich? Because I really wanted a bite.
Right.
And I was like, can I? And he's like, of course. And he had already taken a bite. And he gives me a bite, and I was very well enjoying my bite. And he takes another bite, and he looks at me, and he says, you know, we've kissed.
No, I got to correct you just a little bit, all right? Just a tiny bit, because I think I can actually make the story better. Terry Funk said, if a story's worth telling, it's worth coloring up. But this is actually how I remember it. Was that Candice, like, I think most people would, like, bite around the bite mark, and the fact that Candice like dug right into where I just bitten,
the lipstick on it.
I was like, oh my God, like I have to live vicariously, through other people. And I was like, Candice, I can't remember, you saw me looking at you or whatever, and she said the words. She goes, I feel like I'm making out with Mick Foley.
I love it. That is awesome.
And I was like, you know what? You've just got your own chapter in my next book.
And
so
that
it's a short chapter.
So is that all I have to do, Mick? I have a sandwich right here.
That's it, man. It
Pretend.
doesn't take much to give me a memory for a lifetime.
I definitely need a moment in that book. So Mick, I definitely have to ask you, because I know that fans want to know around the world, what is your favorite match that you have ever had, and who have you yet to wrestle that you really want to wrestle?
Oh, man. My favorite of all time, for years I said it was a match I had with Shawn Michaels in 1996. But then the last few years, the last several years, I've changed it to a comeback match I had. I had teamed up with The Rock against Evolution for WrestleMania, and I was kind of scared. I hadn't had a match in 4 full years. It had been WrestleMania 2000. And to tell you the truth, I went out and I was just hoping to be good enough. I remember I was actually saying a prayer please don't let me. It's not right to use the word suck in a prayer, but I think I was actually please don't let me suck,
I remember that match. You were awesome.
But I realized when I came back, that's not really a great aspiration,
Right.
I really should have shot a little higher. So the next month I went out in a singles with Randy Orton in Backlash, and we had a tremendous match. And as of a couple of years ago, Randy had, said that was still his favorite, which is really quite an accolade given all the great matches that he's been in. So that's probably my favorite of all time. And I used to say that if I could, the 3 people I wish I had wrestled were Bruiser Brody, Ric Flair, and Hulk Hogan. And Brody died a long time ago. I've had a couple of really good matches with Rick. And so if I had to wrestle one guy just for the sake of history, it would be Hulk Hogan.
Wow.
Well,
can't you make that happen?
Possibility.
Really, I was
going to
say.
TNA, huh?
How's that going over at TNA?
Hulk Hogan, are you listening to this?
We're not kidding, Mick. How is it going? I mean, that could be possible now that you're at TNA.
Well, you know what? It could be. It would not be the fastest moving match of all time. I'd have to count on our ability to draw people into the story.
Yeah,
I don't know. I had a match. I was really happy with Rick in October, and actually one of the items that's up there for auction is both the vest and the shirt I was wearing. And Rick had torn the shirt open so he could chop me. And it was a Bruiser Brody shirt, and it was, it's kind of, stained with blood. So it's kind of one of those cool wrestling fan things. And I'd be really happy if that was my last match, because honestly, that was better than I thought I had left in me. But if there had to be one more, I'd like to make it with the Hulkster.
That's awesome.
I think you can make that happen.
Yeah. Mick,
sure.
Do you have any more aspirations to write or to do more wrestling? I mean, where is Mick Foley heading in the future from here? What is your new dreams and your new aspirations? Can you?
Well, there's always dreams. I always have goals and aspirations. This thing with Rain has really meant a lot to me. I did a lot of volunteer work, and I feel like even when I went out on the book tour, the book didn't do that well, but there was a chapter about the work I did with Rain, and it caught a lot of people's attention. And I thought just the idea that I was able to go out there and have Jon Stewart, for example, say, "Now tell me about Rain," and to be able to say words like rape, abuse, and incest on TV, and which are pretty sobering words, and have them sink in and make a difference was really important to me. So really proud of the fact that I've done that kind of work. I at this point, I don't know if I have another book. I want to be a good dad and, hopefully be home a little more often and, hopefully entertain and touch people in my own way for a little while longer.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think you've touched, well, especially me and Lilian in your own way, and I can't imagine the millions of fans. That sounded a little nice, huh?
You know what's weird? Because I've thought about touching you in my own way.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just kidding.
PG. So let me ask you about Tough Enough, because I know that you've been watching the show every week.
Yeah.
And so I want to get your thoughts on everything that's been going on, like the ones that have been eliminated. Do you think that they should have been eliminated? Who do you think are, like, who's your favorite pick? So I've got mine.
Man.
But
You know what? It's tough. Let me say, first of all, one of the things that's really interesting is my wife loves the show, and she's not really a wrestling fan. Like she'll go in and she'll watch. When my kids really they love Raw and they like it. Honestly, they are bigger fans of Raw and SmackDown than they are of Impact at their age. It just they just start taken with the show a little more. My wife doesn't really care for any of the shows, but she loves Tough Enough because I think there's that human drama in there,
right.
and Stone Cold is awesome.
Oh,
yes.
Incredible.
I mean, he's really good, and I think Booker and Bill DeMott and Trish all add a lot to it. Also, I look at it and I'm like, man, Eric. I guess even in the West Coast, we know that Eric's been eliminated, right?
Right.
Yes.
There's guys out there who are being eliminated who I feel for because I would have been terrible. Not only at the ropes course, but there's a reason why there's no video evidence of me going to the top rope like in the last 15 years. I can't really do it. So I really feel more. I feel more for the guys who struggle because I think the guys who struggle end up in a lot of cases actually being better because they need to want it more. But out of the guys who are left. As long as, is it Luke, the cocky guy?
Yes.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't win, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
God, everybody's thinking the same thing. I'm telling you. He'd make a good heel, but backstage?
Yeah,
Mick, if you came across him backstage and he was cocky like that, what would you do?
He'd get some thumbtacks in him and a barbed wire across his back.
It's never anything as direct as saying, I'm going to do something to that guy. But if I see someone who I think is not respectful, I just in the back of my mind get this feeling like, you know what? I'm not going to go out of my way to help that guy.
Yeah.
One thing, I was recently given an award by the Cauliflower Alley Club. And it was a really cool thing. I think I was the youngest guy to ever get a Lifetime Achievement Award, which is I think pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I was really honored because a lot of the guys who vote on this thing would not necessarily be fans of my style of wrestling. But the fact that they voted 17 out of 19 of these guys on the board voted for me made me think about all the help I'd had breaking in. And even though my style wasn't for everybody, I think people all throughout my career, especially when I was younger, saw something in me and saw how much I loved it and wanted to help me. And so I go out of my way to help people who want to be helped and who are open to it. But he strikes me as a guy who already thinks he knows it all, and that can be really dangerous when you are in our world. I think they should hand out some type of textbook that tells you, you can't be too talkative like Matt Stryker was, or people think you're cocky. But if you come in and you're quiet like Jeff Hardy was, then they think that you think you're too good for everyone else.
Yeah.
Like the backstage politics. It's
I remember
impossible.
that.
Oh, yeah.
Mick, when I came in there, I didn't know. I mean, first of all, I was outside of the wrestling world, had no clue.
Yeah.
I didn't come from independence. And I didn't know to shake everybody's hand.
Me too.
And so all of a sudden people thought I was stuck up and who's this girl? She's not respecting us. Meanwhile, I'm thinking, okay, these two are talking.
Respecting them because they're eating lunch.
I am not going to disturb and go around and shake everybody's hand.
Excuse me, Hunter, can you stop eating so I can shake your hand?
and you have to shake their hand every time you see them.
Yeah.
Right.
It is. It's like a kind of a crazy world. And then there used to be, you could tell if somebody was in the business by how they shook your hand, But then you started getting reverse psychology where guys who weren't in the business tried to shake your hand like a wrestler, so you knew they couldn't be a wrestler if they were trying to shake your hand. Like, does that make any sense?
Yeah, it's getting confusing.
And I would see guys who were giving like the old-timer wrestling handshake, and I'd pull them aside if they were pretty good guys, and I'd be like, no one really does that anymore. Or you see a guy like walking around without his shirt, and if he had a really good body, then he'd get heat.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
It is a crazy world. And Lilian, I remember one time you talked to me about it, and I didn't realize how tough a time you were having with it because I wasn't around that much. And I think anyone who comes in, and Candice, you came in as part of the Diva search, and you know they could see how much you loved it, and that you had a great look for it, and then you turned out to be. You kind of fell in love with the business, unless I'm mistaken, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it definitely showed because you turned out to be, so much better than anybody would have predicted. Like you could have coasted on your looks, but you didn't.
Right.
And I remember being there the night you won the championship, and it was a huge deal to you.
It was.
And yeah, I'm not a fan of how everyone is treated because it is really a tough road to navigate. But I think in the end, if you really love it and you're good to people, that that'll win out. And Lilian, I think you've long since. You were accepted many, many years ago by all but like the most cynical people in the business. And
some of them
you're
won't.
never going to win over everybody.
No,
I don't think I didn't win over everybody either. But I have nothing but respect for both of you.
Thank you, Mick. Same here.
Thank you, Mick.
And Mick, I got to tell you, one of my favorite times of you, like you did a lot in the WWE, but one of my favorites was the Rock and Sock connection. I mean, first of all, how did that even get put together? I loved it. And do you keep in touch with The Rock? Do you miss working with him? Like, have you?
You know what? I don't. I haven't seen him or talked to him in a few years. But a funny thing with this WrestleMania and the return of The Rock and Stone Cold coming back, it made people kind of nostalgic for that Rock and Sock era.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And suddenly, I wrote a little piece about how up until, 4 or 5 months ago, my life was like a long, nonstop showing of Groundhog's Day, in that I was asked every day about that Hell in a Cell match with The Undertaker. And once The Rock came back, I started getting questions every day about the Rock and Sock connection. And I was, I actually went out. I actually asked TNA if I could have one day off to go to The Rock's birthday party. And,
how'd that go over? I guess not, because you weren't there.
It was a little shocking. And the truth is, I thought the birthday party was like 2 weeks earlier. It was somebody on Twitter had said, "Hey, you're going to The Rock's birthday party on Monday." And I never could have made May 2nd. So once I found out I was wrong, it wasn't an issue. But I really wanted to be there. I thought it would have been nice, and I thought it would have made people happy.
Yeah, I didn't see them bring anybody they brought like Mae Young and, that kind of thing. But I definitely missed having you. And I mean, I was there, but that was the whole national anthem thing.
And you were awesome. Lily, that was awesome. I hope you got my message.
Thank you, I did. Thank you.
I'm not trying to be like full of hyperbole, but that was the best rendition ever by anyone.
Yes,
Wow.
I agree. It was awesome.
Thank
she pulled
you.
out all the stops in that one.
Thank you very much.
And no matter where I am, Super Bowl or whatever, I'll be at somebody's house and I'll be like, they don't sing it as good as the Lilian Garcia.
Oh, I love you for saying that. Thank you. I try to pour my heart out. That song is very special to me, with everything. But
it shows.
Mick, you've been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
Thank you so much. We love you. You're our teddy bear always.
And we'll be watching you on TNA. And what is there anything that you besides Rain or anything else that you want to definitely just plug before we go on?
No, that's it. I mean, I feel 2 plugs is enough. So hopefully people can either go to rain.org if they would like to donate, volunteer, or if they're in need of help, or they can go to my auction site just by Googling Mick Foley and auction.
And Rain is spelled differently. R-A...
Yeah, R-A-I-N-N.
and double N's.
And he also has his Twitter at the Real Mick Foley. That's correct,
It's just
right?
real.
Or just at Real
Mick
yeah.
Foley. And I noticed that you update it with everything, so all those links will be on there for the auctions and everything for everybody to go there. And let's help him out. Let's get him even more money donated, and let's really show him, how much we appreciate what he's doing for everybody.
Absolutely.
Well, I appreciate that. Some of the stuff is up there in price, but there's still some cool stuff. Like the childhood songs are still like $25.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
so you can get a
They're
unique
affordable.
memento and not break the bank.
All right.
Yes, awesome.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Mick. We love you.
All
Have a
right.
great night.
I love you too.
All right,
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, bye.
Wow, that was really awesome. So, guys, we're going to take
He's amazing.
this, and we're going to take some callers, and we're also going to do our new special segment. We're going to take a question from our tweets.
I'm looking at them right now.
So you guys can call in while we go to another commercial. Did we do that? No. Okay, just call in, guys. It's 424-256-1729. And we have a caller on the line. What's your name and where are you from?
My name is Daniel from Rockville, Maryland.
Hi, Daniel. How are you? I think I recognize that voice.
Oh, yeah, I'm on it.
I know Daniel.
You do?
Daniel's awesome.
How do you
Seriously.
know Daniel?
Because I had this one-on-one kind of where you could actually have
the
a one-on-one
one-on-ones.
lunch.
Oh.
Or a breakfast. You could actually, and he was one of the people that, we had
very
breakfast
cool.
together. So it was really, hey, we had
Oh,
breakfast
yeah,
together.
I remember that.
Oh, that's awesome. Daniel, what's your question for
Yeah.
us?
My question, let me think. Oh, God. I didn't even know I was on.
You're on, baby.
Okay.
You're on. This is your
Okay,
slot.
thank you. Did you ever, Lilian, consider tapping out of WWE before you left in 2009?
Did
you
I
ever consider leaving?
Did I ever consider before I actually left?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, I mean, you're there such a long time, so
right. So
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I know
Yeah,
I
what's
left.
the-
I left in September of 09, and I
Yeah.
remember I gave them notice in May of 09 so that they would have enough time to find somebody and all of that because my contract was up. The only time that I would ever consider leaving, to be honest with you, would be like when we did an international tour and we were on the road for 2.5 weeks. When you're on that tour and you're away from home for that long, and you love going international and you love the fans and everything, but the road gets kind of long and it does get, even though you're with other superstars, it's still lonely. You're still going to an empty room at night, and those are the times.
Except for the nights when she came to my room. And there was many.
You're starting trouble. No, but that would be the time that you go, God, do I really want to do this? Because you miss home so badly.
Yeah.
You just want the best of both worlds.
Right.
So, yeah. So, I mean, there were times, but then you'd come home and everything would be fine again.
You come home and then you can't wait to go on the next tour.
Or you'd go that night, you'd go and the fans would be, yelling and
Right.
screaming. You'd be in the middle of, like, I'll never forget being in the middle of the bull rings, like in Spain, where you're actually in a bull
incredible.
ring. Yeah, I mean, there's, no roof, no nothing.
Right.
You're outside and it's amazing. So those are the times that you go, oh no, this is cool.
Yeah.
This is great. It's the traveling in between and the getting there, and that's the kind of stuff you wish you were Jeannie going.
Right.
Beam me up, or Scotty, beam me
Scotty,
up, Scotty.
yeah. Awesome. Thanks for calling, Daniel.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
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 All right, our next caller.
Awesome. What's your name and where are you from? Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Thanks for calling, Daniel. Thanks.
Hello?
Hi.
What's your name and where are you from?
All right, our next caller. Awesome. What's your name?
I'm Leslie Hernandez. I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Hi, Leslie. Can you do us a favor and can you turn down the volume on your, I guess you've got the Ustream on right now on your computer?
Yeah.
There we go, because we were hearing an echo.
Oh, perfect. What's your question for us, sweetie?
I'm actually in development on UCW 0.
Okay.
For Martin trains. Yeah, so I was wondering if maybe Candice can give me, some tips or something.
I think, I don't know if you've been watching Tough Enough, but one of the things that really stood out when John Cena came on, he said the hardest thing for him is never really feeling like he was good enough. And I think you just have to really believe in yourself and don't let anybody tell you you can't do anything or you can't make it. If something is difficult, try harder, try a different way, ask for help. And just really go after it. Don't let, the little things tear you down or break you apart. Or, once you're in the business, it just gets more and more people saying you can't. And it's just really fun when you prove them wrong and you tell them that you can.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you for calling. Good luck.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
So we'll take another caller, and then we'll do the tweet.
The tweets. Awesome. Okay, do we have a caller on the line? No. There we go.
Yes, we do.
Hi, what's your name and where are you from?
Hello.
Hi. How are you? What's your name?
This is Timothy. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada.
All right.
Whoa.
Vegas in the house.
Yes.
Timothy, what's your question?
I'm sorry. I really don't have a question because I'm so nervous now. But I just wanted to say I have so much respect for you guys because I don't know, y'all are just so cool and amazing.
Aw, thank you.
We love that.
It's it's an inspiration because when I grow up, I kind of want to be a wrestler, but I don't really tell anybody.
But you know what? I right now I'm going to tell you, do not be ashamed of that. If that's what you want to do, if that's your passion, you've got one life. You don't hide behind it, all right? So you go for it. You tell people that's what you want to do, all right, and you study it. You see, right now you watch Tough Enough. You watch the guys in the ring. You really study. And what's so great about Tough Enough is that they're really letting you know, like, behind the scenes of kind of what it takes to be a wrestler. That's what I love about this show. A lot of people don't have that behind the scenes look. So if this is what you want and your passion, then go for it and do it. But you've got to do your research. You've got to do your homework. You've got to be prepared.
And just tell them that Lilian and Candice said you can do it.
Thank you.
Thanks for calling. Have a good night.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Good luck.
Bye.
Awesome. So this is exciting. This is our first time doing this segment of the show.
Yes.
But first, let's take one more caller, and then we're going to take our Twitters.
Okay.
Hello?
Hi. What's your name and where are you from?
Hi, Candice Michelle.
Hi.
I'm Shannon from Australia. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Well, we're having a great time. Do you have a question for me?
Yeah, actually, look, I just want to say I'm a huge fan of both of you. And Candice, I thought you were probably one of the best women's champions there ever was.
Wow.
Thank you.
I motion that.
Thank you so much.
Anyway, I've got a question for both you girls. I was just wondering, do you think John Cena will be a big movie star like The Rock?
I think he will. He's got that look. He's just got a look that women love, men want to be. So he's got a lot of ways that he can play that, diverse role of, being the guy that kicks butt and still the sexy man that the woman wants to be with.
But one thing I will say about Cena is I don't think that Cena ever wants to leave the ring. Like, he just doesn't want to take the break to be a movie star. Like, Rock will take a break, and go back and forth.
Right.
And
he does have the love and passion for the wrestling.
And not saying that Rock doesn't have passion for the wrestling, but Rock balances it. Where Cena really, really, really just wants to wrestle. He doesn't mind doing a movie here and there. But that's the thing that I think would hold him back from being a full-time Hollywood big movie star like Rock. Which, by the way, we got to mention that Rock's movie, Fast Furious. The first weekend that it was out made $86 million.
Wow. Have you seen it?
Not yet. And I'm going to, definitely. Yeah. But it killed all the other Fast and Furious, of all the money that they've made.
Right.
So, and they racked in like another $36 million this weekend. So it's doing great. It's doing great. So, but yeah, so that's my take on
If he
Cena.
wants it, I think he could have it.
And thank you for calling.
Awesome. Have a good night.
Okay, thanks.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, Candice. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Aw, he's so
So
sweet.
I have a let's see. I have a tweet real quick here. I have one from Chris Cash. Is it C-A? So it's Chris and then C-A-S-H-E.
Okay.
That's his Twitter name.
What's his question?
So his question is, and I wanted to take this because it's kind of like Tough Enough, where his question is, what advice would you give to an aspiring singer who has a good look and a great sound and can't get a break? So this is very much like the Tough Enough, that they want to aspire to be a wrestler and, they're trying really hard. Well, in the music business, it's not easy. It's the same thing where we for the longest time, there was no shows like Tough Enough that you could actually go in and be part of something, and they teach you and all of that.
Right.
But now there's shows like American Idol and X Factor and The Voice and I mean, I know years ago there was Star Search. I mean, years and years ago.
Right.
But I think that, that's one thing is maybe just audition in those shows, learn from them, watch them, because you can really learn a lot from even just watching the show, for sure. See what songs work for certain people and certain, don't, and really take note of that and then write. Like I write all the time. I write, I go in, I have in my laptop, there's on Macs, they have GarageBand that already comes in. So you hit that and it's your own studio.
Oh.
So you just plug in your microphone and you just drag from iTunes, you drag your song over to GarageBand and you put your headset on and you start singing and you start recording yourself. And trust me, you learn a lot. You listen
Careful
back.
what I might record.
Yeah. Yeah, you listen back and you go, oh. But you learn, you really do.
Totally.
So I think that's a thing, and I think it's joining a band, and there's many avenues out there that you just have to have the guts to go out and network and just put yourself out.
Yeah.
So that's my
good
my
answer,
best.
Lilian. Okay, I'm gonna answer one from Drew is the Do. He's a very he tweets me a lot, and I have some good conversations with him.
Oh, cool.
And his question is, including tonight eliminated contestants, who do you think could make it in the WWE? I'm going to go with two people. First of all, including one person that was eliminated tonight is Evie. For the girls. I mean, I think she has the passion, she has the heart, she has the drive, and she was just taken out without her control. But I think she's going to come back from this and really just, say, hey, I have another opportunity, because I think she's going to get it.
Right.
And I think she's going to do great stuff for us.
Yes.
For the guys, I'm still loving Jeremiah. I mean, he's got this, different look. I can't think of many people that have it.
Right.
You can kind of think of, kind of a Trevor Murdoch, but he's playing more of a babyface role, where Trevor was kind of a heel with that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people are going to love him, and they're just going to, want to eat him up. So those are my two picks, and I think they're going to do good.
Which brings us into the predictions. I mean, we're kind of going long on the show today, but
do we got some spooky music?
Yeah, we got the spooky music.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Oh, wow, I can add another octave.
Nice. You don't want to see my octave. Okay, so predictions for the win.
I like my guy, Andy. I just hope he steps up, because I really do like him. I think he's got the best look out of all of them. I think he's the most memorable. I think that, there's something about him that really, wants me to see him go all the way.
Right. And I'm sticking with Jeremiah. We were just talking about it. He's my boy. He's the country guy.
Who do you think will go out next?
Ooh, out next.
Oh, actually, I think right here, AJ.
I don't know. AJ might step it up next week. I think he's going to surprise us a little bit. But, Luke, like when we were talking with Mick Foley, Luke was, he was saying, Luke better not get too cocky, play the cocky for the heel role, but, respect where you're at. And I know he won this week, but I don't know how that's going to carry on through the rest of it.
It's going to get very interesting, because now we're down to 7. No, we're down to 6, because they eliminated 2 people.
Oh, right. So we're down to 6.
We're down to 6.
This is
we're
great.
Andy, AJ, Martin, Jeremiah, Luke, and Christina.
And we saw the preview for the next week's show. They're going to have the WWE Divas are going to be coming on.
Yes.
And we're excited because our special guest next week is going to be a very own WWE Diva who made history, Michelle McCool. Now, as everybody knows, she's retired.
Yes.
And she's going to spill the beans. What's going on? Where's she going from here? All this fun stuff. And I was excited to chat with her a little bit and say, oh, I hope you enjoy this thing. It's called life. Barbecues and birthday parties and
for the last
sleep.
7 years she hasn't. Yeah, right.
So she's gonna have fun doing that. We're gonna find out all the good stuff from her. So if you guys have questions, start tweeting her, tweet us. You can email us, Facebook us. They can put all that good stuff up on the AfterBuzz website. And I like to close things out with a special quote.
But before you close it out,
Okay.
You won't be here next week.
Oh, I won't. I'm taking my little peanut, and we're going to fly home to Milwaukee for 11 days.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
This is long, guys. Okay, like 4 days with the family, that's like good.
Yeah. 11 days. Wow. What possessed
with
you?
With my
No.
beer, Pabst Blue Ribbon drinking, Marlboro smoking, uncles. This is going to be
the stories. I can't wait for the stories when you come back.
An excited weekend, so
Yeah.
I will miss you guys. Maybe I can call in and say hi.
Yeah. All right, sure.
But I want to leave you guys with a
Okay.
quote. This is from Maya Angelou. She's one of my favorites. And I've learned that people will forget what you said. People will forget what you did. But people will never forget the way you made them feel.
All right. I love it.
Very good.
I love it.
Awesome.
And Torrie will be back. So for now, the music again. We're not technically
AfterBuzz TV.
TLC. We're just Elsie.
We're a little crazy.
A little crazy tonight.
A little crazy.
So now we will. What's that? We will
Buzz you later.
From producers Kevin Undergaro and Phil Svitek, engineer DJ Jesse Janity, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. If you have questions or comments, be sure to buzz us at info@AfterBuzzTV.com. And you can find us on Facebook or follow us on Twitter by searching for AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.